And of course, you can do this. Hello everybody, what's happening? My name's Neil, welcome along to Midlife Motors. And the question that I get asked the most about this car is, would it make a good daily driver? Now, to answer that, I've been doing exactly that. You can probably tell by the state of the car. And it's been put to the test this week because we're in the middle of January here in Scotland and it barely gets above zero, whether it's day or night. It's 10:15 already today and the car's still frozen solid. So despite the beautiful blue skies, it really has suffered the temperatures. We've got to zoom out today, so we'll take it with us and I'll go through the things I've found, the good things, the bad things about using this car every single day of the week. Before we set off, one thing that I have noticed is that this car defrosts very quickly. I generally come out, chuck my work stuff in the boot and fire the car up, because it will be solid, frozen solid, to let it thaw out and warm up. And by the time I've made my coffee for the journey and come back out a couple of minutes later, it's completely defrosted, ready to go. That is handy. Oh, ooh, cozy warm. Right, let's get cracking. I'm going to start with a couple of negatives actually, which is maybe the wrong thing to do, but it's worth pointing out. Inside the car, let's do the inside first, and when we pull over, I'll try and find somewhere sunny we can pull over and have a look at the outside bits. But inside, the cup holders are small, so you're only going to be able to use cans of Coke and small coffee cups, no big flasks in here, I'm afraid. And also, the glove box. It's become a bit of a joke about this car, it doesn't have a glove box, but that is a pain in the bum. There's no really where to put anything inside the car. There aren't any door pockets of note. You've got this little storage bit behind your seat, but it's actually quite hard twisting round to get to that. So your phone kind of doesn't really fit here. This bit in the middle you can put maybe some keys in. Everything of mine, even my wallet, is in the boot. In these conditions, it's nice to have controls that are easy to get to and easy to use, and we're buttons in this car, which is great. Heated seat is lovely and warm. In fact, I'm going to turn it off. I'm just toasty enough. And as I mentioned earlier, this car stays really warm really quickly. It works really well. It's obviously quite well insulated, this roof. Other good things about the inside of the car is the driving position. You sit really well. You've got great visibility all around, so you can see everything you need to see. And in these, if you're daily driving it, that's quite an important thing. All the controls on the steering wheel are really easy to use. Everything still works even after 7 years. The infotainment's getting a little bit slow, but I put the radio on and we're all right. I'd have to say also, I'm quite impressed with the lack of rattles that this car's developed over the years. We're on the motorway here, just cruising along at 60. It's nice and quiet. Everything's good, just what you need. If you were brave, it's -2 at the moment, so I'm not. The other benefit of the car is you can do this without getting out, without getting cold. I'll put the heated seats back on and enjoy the winter sunshine. Like I say, I'm maybe it's maybe a little bit too cold for me, but that's another reason why this is a good daily driver. I would definitely choose an RF. I wouldn't choose a soft top. In the winter time, you definitely want the RF. I think as well, when you do drive, if you were brave and you wanted to drive with the roof down, just being a Targa top, you're going to keep more heat in the cabin, so that gives you more reason to put it down. But like I say, it's -2 today, so no. So come on, Neil, what people really want to know is what about driving it? Well, you've got to remember that the MX-5 is quite a softly damped car. It doesn't have stiff anti-roll bars, so that makes it quite a compliant ride, certainly on these roads over UK potholes. It's not crash bang wallop. It's far better than our Mini, and it's actually quite comfortable. Add in these Recaro seats, spot on. Now the drive, I would argue that the MX-5 actually comes alive in these sort of conditions. When it's dry, you can use all the power all the time. You don't have to feather the throttle, you don't have to feel the balance, because it hasn't got enough power really to unsettle itself unless you're being completely bonkers. But in these cold, damp, dirty conditions, you have to use the throttle a little bit more progressively. You have to feel what grip is around, and I think that makes the car more enjoyable to drive. Also the tyres, this car's still on the original make of tyres, the Bridgestones that it came with. Now a lot of people rush to get off them and onto more stickier stuff. Now I think that kind of defeats the purpose of the car. It comes back to what I get a lot of criticism over by saying these cars are not a good track day car unless you modify them comprehensively. They're too soft and they're too geared towards being a road car. Now the Bridgestone tyres in these conditions give you so much feedback. I think they're great. So everything starts to work as the car sort of comes into these different conditions, if you like. And I think that sort of shows that Mazda kind of knew what they were doing and produced a car that could be used by the masses in all weathers. Good stuff. Did that make sense? If you kind of get where I'm coming through from? Yeah. Here's a good example. We're coming up to a roundabout now. Nobody else around, so we can play with the braking. Just gently down the gears. Don't let the clutch out too heavy. Feel the nose in. Feel the power of the rear. Whoo! Bit of throttle. To a certain extent, that's just more enjoyable than flooring it everywhere on a bone dry sunny day. It's good. I like it. Other stuff that's important that we have to consider. Wipers are great. My £3.99 Aldi wipers are doing a superb job of keeping the screen clear. The brakes on MX-5s are tremendous. Really good, really strong, really powerful. I mean, they're not stopping a heavy car, so that plays to your advantage as well. But yeah, excellent, easy to modulate, really, really good. One of the best bits about the car. The lights are okay. More modern ones would be better, but you won't be squinting in the dark, which is good. Now, I find this time of the year, bear in mind it's a rear-wheel drive car, and as I said, it's light. I like to keep a fair bit of fuel in. I don't like it to be much below half a tank most of the time. It just enables you to get a little bit more traction. I don't know if that's a mental thing or if that's a helpful thing, but anybody else do that? If you do, let me know, or am I just going a little bit insane? The infotainment. This car's a 2017, so the infotainment system is getting a little bit old now. I just stream my music, and it's not fast, it's not slow. Once it gets going, it's okay. But I think if somebody was getting a car of this age, they'd maybe want to update it to Apple CarPlay. I think that's quite easily done. The more modern cars will have that anyway. Probably a larger display, probably a clearer display, probably a faster display. So you pays your money. The one thing that I would mention though, the Bose sound system in the car is first class, and the speakers in the headrests, absolutely ideal. I've been using this car all week just to answer the question that we were talking about earlier. And I've done the video on purpose in a lot of traffic. I've taken the busy route, and you can see it's fine. There's no reason not to do it. I'm perfectly comfortable. I feel perfectly safe. Just doing the same as every other road user. I'm about to park up here now. I'm going to try and find a good parking space on the end of the bay. Go for my swim. Yeah, you can use one of these every day. Easy peasy. I always think a sports car looks quite cool when it's dirty. The reason I've popped a boot though is just to show you the space. I'm quite surprised there's actually quite a lot of space in the boot here. I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up because it's kind of dark, but you'll get your shopping, you'll get your gym kit, everything in there that you could need. Surprising this, there's a bit more boot space than I think people appreciate in this car. Before I jump back in the car or drive home and do an outro, while I was having my swim, I was thinking about a few things, and I'd just like to go back over the mechanical issues of the car. Well, not issues, but the things that look after you with this car. I mean, we all dream of a sharp sports car on a lovely summer's day, but this isn't a sharp sports car, and this isn't a lovely summer's day. This is a sports car that will look after you. It's not got a powerful engine, it's not got a spiky power delivery, so you're not suddenly going to be spinning up the rear wheels with masses of torque. It's got a gearbox which is smooth, the differential is smooth, so it's not going to be snatchy, it's not going to suddenly throw you off in a direction you're not anticipating. And the anti-roll bars, they're nice and soft. We mentioned that on the drive down here. Now, a racing driver in the wet, in the tricky conditions, would soften off the anti-roll bars because it makes the car a little bit, it makes it move, it allows it to transfer weight, and that keeps it safe, allows you to feed throttle in, be more progressive on the brakes. The brakes as well, the ABS is not snatchy, it doesn't come in hard, it doesn't come in sharp. So in the UK here, you don't get as many sunny days as you'd like when you own a car like this, but on the less sunny days, to a certain extent, it really does, like I said previously, come into its own even more. So yeah, I was just thinking about that as I was swimming 2,000 meters. God, I'm knackered now. I need to go and get some food. That's it then. That's the reasons why I think an MX-5 as a daily driver, unless you need more space, a bigger car, it works just as well as any other. If you've got one and you're dailying it, or you're thinking of getting one and you're thinking of using it all the time, then let us know in the comments how you're getting on. You must get the underside protected though, particularly if you're going to use it in the winter, because it will go wrong pretty quickly under there. Anyway, thanks for watching this one. Please give us a thumbs up and please hit the like button if you want to subscribe, because there'll be way more on all the cars. There's a new one coming shortly. Thanks very much for watching this. As the sun is in my eyes, I shall say goodbye. Goodbye. This is nice. This is nice.